Brendan Dillier, he's a 6-foot senior. Steve Medford checks in for Jerseyville for Eric Van Hovland. So the Panthers, with 3:22 left in the third quarter, have Medford, Steinkühler, 2 Brunos, and Cody Hawkins on the floor.
Well, I didn't see who it was. Stripped the ball away, got it off. Panthers came down in a wide open lane for Dylan Griffith. He goes in for the easy 2.
Now the Panthers score the first 4, so Coach Falkenberg calls a quick timeout. Was a very successful timeout when he pulled this stunt back in the third quarter, so we'll see if we have the same effects here in the fourth quarter, as it's now a 45-29 contest.
We took a look earlier on in this broadcast at the one sectional that Highland will be participating in, that being the Salem sectional. Now let's take a look and see what the postseason holds for Jerseyville. They get the 10th seed this year in the Collinsville sectionals, and those will begin the week of the 27th.
Highland did come away with the old offensive rebound, and Wells takes a 3-point shot, no good. And Honchel comes away with the board, and he is fouled by number 30, Reeder. And Reeder, I think, is going to get or is Dustin going to get the technical?
Not sure.
Reeder and Dustin were kind of giving some words to each other. The foul was charged to Reeder. They called that right away, and Dustin was still upset about it. But I'm not sure who they called the technical on. I believe it was Dustin Honchel who reacted after the foul, which isn't a smart move on Dustin. I mean, they did call the foul. They called it immediately. And Dustin either sets as well, and many other shows through cable channel 12. So we're glad that you enjoy all of those. And if you have any comments or suggestions, send them to Unit 100 at 100 Lincoln Street here in Jerseyville, and we'll see what we can do for you.
And just as an outside observer in my stately travels here and there, I hear a lot of good things about the things.
And the rebound back to Highland as we wind it down here this evening. Going for the stuff. Got everything but the ball to fall. That was Tim March. He's a 6'3" junior, and he certainly had the height, but I think he lost control of the ball at the last second.
Yeah, you see him walking around the court going, boy, was that silly of me, missing that shot. I really wanted that badly. We go to the other end, and he's still laughing about it.
And whether he knows it or not, it's on tape and is going to be shown somewhere around home.
Dennis Falkenberg with his head in his hands right now saying, I can't believe you tried that. And then I can't believe you missed it.
Yeah, he's talking to Mungie right now.
He said, I didn't give him the green light to do that.
Well, you know, you give Highland and Coach Falkenberg some credit. It was obvious about midway through the third quarter as they opened up a 20-point lead and a little bit more through this second half. And about the last 5 minutes or so of this quarter, he has gone strictly to the reserves. Tom Wells played a great game. Is probably going to come out as lead scorer for the game, I would believe. Jason Fry, although his points not very high, had a couple of wonderful passes, a couple of nice assists. Joe Hoffman, again, not a lead scorer, but the points that he did have came at real opportune times for Highland tonight.
Yeah, Joe Hoffman quietly scoring 13 tonight. That's actually right around his average, and he's just a hard worker down low. He has good size at 6'4". Not a lot of meat on those bones, though. He probably could use to pack on another 10, 15 pounds, but he's a senior, as we said. But nonetheless, he gets the job done down low, and we saw him actually out of the contest in that second quarter, so he's done it in relatively short fashion.
And we take it the scoring has been pretty well balanced through the season for Highland. I mean, it's a well-balanced scoring effort tonight.
Yeah, 4 guys in double figures is usually the average, between 12 and 18 points with Wells, Hoffman, Fry, and Reeder. Reeder, a really low-scoring output here tonight, only 2 points.
So the game is history. It's in the books, and Highland improves to 8-2 in the conference. The Panthers fall to 9-13 on the season, 5-5 in the conference, as the Bulldogs win this MVC battle 68-47. As we recap it, Panthers stayed close through the first quarter, I believe only trailing by 2 at the end of the first 8 minutes, but they had just a brutal second quarter, only scoring 4 points. And Highland coming up with 13. I mean, not having a big scoring effort either, but compared to 4, it works.
Yeah, the two quarters that really stand out, Cliff, in this game, of course, was the second and the third quarter. Highland outscoring Jerseyville 13-4 in that second quarter play, then 20-11 in that third quarter. It was just, that basically is your game right there, because that's about 20 points. Look at your final score. It's a 21-point victory here for Highland. So if there was something for Coach Mungie to take a look at and maybe work on next time, try to keep that play a little more consistent in the second and third quarters.
Right, and that's one of the things that we have talked about and we mentioned earlier in this broadcast, and Coach Mungie continues to talk about.
that Carwin Howard. He's got 9 points now, tied with Manning for the lead. And really, Reeder misses it, and he wanted a foul, and he didn't get it, and Falkenberg up off the bench, he's upset, but this one's blocked by Fry. However, we'll get a call on Fry going the other way, and Fry is upset. He is hot. Thought he got fouled going the other way. And then he picks this one up, and there's Falkenberg. He is mad. Nevertheless, that will send Edward Stewart to the line. We want to remind you to stay tuned as you're watching this. At 5 o'clock, it'll be Centralia versus Cardinal Ritter. and a matchup of two powerhouses. Cardinal Ritter has some unbelievably talented players, and Centralia is the nation's winningest high school basketball team. Perfect shot, don't take it. Wells will take it though. Wells will drive, and no call on that. No call on it. It sure looked like Carwin Howard had hacked him. 3:39 remaining. Or not. I think they will, as it looks like Craig Brown will pick up the personal. He does. It's his second personal foul. And now Ed Stewart will check back into the ball game. Greg Jones will go to the bench. And at the line, it'll be Nathan Reeder. There you see Wells over talking it over with Jeff Falkenberg. Assistant coaches are Jay Kreider and Mark Geppert. First one off the iron, misses the front end of the one-on-one. Slapped around, and now Lincoln handler Reeder. Going to the right side, Reeder. It's taken away, and it's going to be a foul called against Nathan Reeder. Boy, oh boy. Craig Brown was all over Reeder, and no call until the ball went away, and now Benny Lewis jumps up, and he looks at Falkenberg. Falkenberg there, and now there's Benny Lewis. I don't know if Lewis took exception to something that Falkenberg said, or if he was just upset at the crowd reaction to the call. But Benny Lewis, that's the first time we've seen him jump up tonight. We've only got a minute 10 left to go in this ball game. For Highland, back out. They want to get it to Tom Wells. Tipped away. Good job there, and it's Greg Brown once again on the defensive stop. Manning will bring it up, and now does Lincoln hold for the final shot, or what happens? The students are on their feet. We'll see if this, oh, and Lincoln almost. Sectional between the Belleville East Lancers and the Highland Bulldogs. My name is Wayne Fraser. Alongside me, Steve Larson. Glad to have you along, Steve.
Glad to be here, Wayne.
And we are ready to meet the starting lineups. Actually, the entire lineup for both teams. Tim Marks, Blake Renderer, Lee Fouquet out on the floor. Number 14, Jim Winnett, 5'9" guard, a sophomore. Number 15 is Brendan Dillier. He will see probably a little bit of time in this ball game. A 6-foot senior. Number 20, Matt Jelly, a 5'8" junior guard. Number 22, Alex Scholl, a 6'4", 170-pound sophomore forward. Here's the first starter. Oh, they're not going to go with the starters yet. Excuse me. Ryan Hazelhorst. We'll see plenty of him tonight. And number 52, another big man, Matt Barnett, at 6'4". Jeff Falkenberg is their head coach. Here are the starters for the Highland Bulldogs. They're 25-5 this season. Assistant coaches are Jay Kreider, Mark Geppert, and the athletic director is Brad Heyer. First man off the bench, it's Ryan Warnicki. Warnicki is 6'2", 180 pounds. He's a senior. He will do a lot of the ball handling. The other guard is Nathan Reeder. He is the true point guard on this team at 6'2", 175 pounds. Also the quarterback of a very successful Highland Bulldogs football team this season. The third guard, number 54. Here's the man everybody knows out of Highland. It's Tom Wells, 6'2", 200-pound senior, terrific running back. He comes in averaging almost 20 points a ball game. The 6'5" senior averaging 13.5 points a game. It's Jason Fry. Fry wearing number 34 at 6'5", a great leaper. Number 50 is Joe Hoffman, the final player off the bench for the Bulldogs, 6'4", 180 pounds, and he's a senior. And Steve, this is a well-rounded ball club.
Yes, they are. They're real balanced in height, and they handle the ball well, and they keep their heads under pressure.
If you haven't guessed yet, folks, Steve has a little frog in his throat tonight. We're both under the weather, but we both could not stand not to come out and see this great game that's going to take place here from Carbondale. Highland coming off a big victory over, actually, what I would consider their closest rival, Triad. They defeated them 67-50 in the sectional finals at Salem. Now, here, coaching staff poking up in there. 6'5". Barnes tries to dump it down, ball loose. He'll turn around and shoot. He won't get it. Tipped around and the rebound hauled down, and that's going to end the first half. If you're a Belleville East fan, you've got to be ecstatic. If you're a Highland fan, you've got to be sitting at home and smacking the TV on the side and saying, I'm getting the wrong game. It's 27-13. Belleville East has doubled up here on the Highland Bulldogs in the first half of the Class AA Super Sectional from SIU Carbondale in Carbondale, Illinois. We'll be right back with second half action in just a moment here on Charter Communications. Welcome back to the SIU Arena on the campus of Southern Illinois University at Carbondale, where we've got a shocker going on here. I think Belleville East is up 27-13 over the Highland Bulldogs on Charter Communications Channel 3. Wayne Fraser alongside Steve Larson. And Steve, I don't think anybody could have expected this.
Very lethargic performance, I'd say, out of Highland for sure. They can play a lot better than this, Wayne. They played better against us at the Salem sectional. They came out charged up. They're definitely back on their heels tonight. They finally, in the second quarter, started taking the ball to home a little bit more.
Well, leading scorers for both teams. Belleville East is being led right now by Lance Barnes, who has 11. Clint Seitz has 10. For Highland, Tom Wells has 6, and that's just about it. Dillier 3, Reeder and Fry have 2 apiece, 27-13. You're not going to get a lot of scoring when you only score 13 points in one half. We were talking about this before we went on tonight.
It gives each school a little bit more chance to go at something like this.
Well, Donald, I hope I didn't miss my 50-50 numbers. It'd be a big draw tonight. Third quarter, Brian Ledford, our producer, says he's got a vested interest. He has a few tickets in his pocket also. We're ready to go here with second half action. Highland will have the ball. They are down by 14 points at the half, 27-13.
They better get a little more aggressive, and they better do it quickly.
Starting 5 out there once again. Wells on the drive, and he will get it to go, and that's what they need. Tom Wells penetrates. He has 8 points now. Back the other way comes Belleville East. Starting 5 for both teams. Foul, no call, and Wells comes down with a rebound. He really leans in off the glass, and he'll get it. Tom Wells started to heat up a little bit. He's in double figures with 10, and they cut it to a 27-17 advantage. Barnes.
They did.
This one looks like it's partially blocked. On the run, here comes Highland. It's Fry. He turns around and he gets it to go off the glass. Nice turnaround jumper by Jason Fry. we've got to have a timeout. Doug McCrary gets it. Eerily like the beginning of this ball game. 27-19. All of a sudden, Highland is right back in this one, Steve.
Yes, and they've done it with aggressive offensive play. They've kept their hands up on D.
There's some of those crazy Highland fans jumping around. Down there, they brought a whole truckload of folks tonight. So down here to the SIUE Arena. Can't say enough about the friendly treatment we've gotten down here from the staff at the SIUE Arena as they just dropped us off some halftime stats. Field goal percentage, 50%. For Highland, get this, folks, 12 of 15. Did I say Edwardsville? Oh, gosh, I'm sorry, SIU Carbondale. Well, I was so used to the great treatment we got at SIU Edwardsville during the sectionals that I just couldn't help but say it again.
Here, here.
12 of 15 shooting for 80% from the floor for the Lancers in the first half. Unbelievable. Sights, it looks like. Helbig will shoot. He doesn't get it. The rebound is corralled by Highland. Here comes Jason Fry up the floor. Kicks it over to Wells. Wells wants to penetrate. He tries to lean in and no foul called. Up down to Barnes. And rejected out of bounds. What a great play from behind by Fry once again. Wells for three. He gets it. Wells over Eric Green. Tom Wells has brought this team back to life offensively, and Jason Fry is doing it on the defensive boards. 27-22. It's a 9-0 run for Highland. Dumped down to Seitz. He loses it. Coming up with it. It's Highland on the run. Behind the back for Reeder. Looking for somebody to pass to, and now he kicks it over to Fry. That's the first three-pointer of the game for either team. The penetration off the iron, no good. Rebound, Fry off the glass. He won't get that one either. Tipped around, still in the air, and Fry comes down with another board. Pass inside. Hoffman trying to do too much again. Hoffman is just out of control, and he strips it. No call. Wells, and now there's going to be a foul finally. And Green will get it called against him, but boy, there were a couple fouls Steve overlooked pretty blatantly there.
Yes, there were. It's getting real physical down there, Wayne.
I don't know how Joe Hoffman could not have been called for a foul after he basically just came flailing in and landed at the feet of Green. There's Jeff Falkenberg, and now you get a look at Tom Wells at the line. Wells, averaging 19.5 per game, gets the first.
No.
Weak side to Seitz. He almost loses it, but he drives, gets it off to Barnes. Barnes was hot. He led all scorers in the first half. Seitz from the outside, no good. Rebound tipped around on the run. Now it's a 2-on-none. But defensively, one man back off the glass and good. Nathan Reeder off the glass. He did a good job of stopping and really buying the fake. As Buddy Dye would be against Eric Green.
He is third if it's on him.
We will get a check. It is against Green. That's his third.
Highland is letting Buddy Dye sit out there. He's got to hit a shot. They did the same thing against our point guard and one of our wing guards and let them shoot. Guarded the rest of them. He's three on him too.
And that means he will come out of the ball game, I think. That is Tom Wells' third. And now we're going to get a timeout called by Jeff Falkenberg and the Highland Bulldogs. Gillier will check in for Wells. When we come back to action, Highland has come to life here in the third quarter. They have cut a 14-point halftime disadvantage to just a 4-point hole. 29-25, Belleville East leading right now on Charter Communications. Well, an almost eerie replay of the first 4 or 5 minutes of this ball game, except this time,
Other way around.
yeah, it was the other team that was in charge as Highland really came out on fire at the the beginning of this third quarter. They scored the first 12 points before Clint Seitz finally put a bucket in for the Lancers. It's 29-25 as it stands right now. And the last two times down the floor, Highland has been unsuccessful on the offensive end. Now Oliver will check in along with Larry Scheller, and that means going to the bench will be Eric Green. He gets a big hand from the crowd over here. We got 6 guys out on the floor for Belleville East. There goes Seitz. I tell you, that first half, it looked like they had 6 guys on the floor the whole time.
Lots of pressure.
38-27, 50 seconds remaining here in the third quarter.
You're down 11, you better go for it.
It looks like they're going to hold instead. Almost stripped away. Scheller jumps up. 30 seconds left. Steve, I see you shaking your head.
I don't go for this.
I don't agree with it either, to be honest.
You're down 11, you better get up there and get that ball in the hole. That's all I got to say.
See if maybe you can force another turnover.
Bob Sudoff, the triad coaching staff that's in front of us, agrees with me, and he's from Highland originally.
7 seconds, and now they got to do something. Wells on the penetration, throws up a shot, no good, tipped around, and coming down with it, it's Belleville East. And that's it. That shot would not have counted anyway. Highland blows a golden opportunity as they got back within 2 points before held its first bucket of the night.
That is amazing, isn't it?
Somebody's down on the ground now for Highland. And it looks like Ryan Warnicki. He is hurt. I don't know if it's the ankle or the knee. No, it's Nathan Reeder instead. And he's going to have to go back down to the floor, I think.
Looks like an ankle to me.
I don't know if in the melee under the basket he came down on somebody's ankle. It is a nice gesture by the Belleville East fans as they give Reeder a standing ovation on their side of the floor also.
You can afford to do that when you're 4 feet up, Wade.
Now, this is going to be Jim Winnett. Steve's clapping. Why is
you're
that?
bringing a guard in. Somebody can put a little more pressure on and you bring the ball up a little quicker. I think that's what he's thinking. He hasn't got mind there.
This is the first time I think we've seen Winnett all year. He almost reaches in and gets a steal. Tipped out of bounds off Seitz's hands and back the other way.
Now we bring Hoffman back.
Falkenberg starts the Highland Bulldogs shuffle. And that means posted out there by 3-point range. But
don't hold it, move it.
Hoffman shoots. Hoffman gets it. Hoffman suddenly now has 4 points, and it's down below a 10-point lead once again. 43-35. They didn't have a chance to bring the man in. No dead ball. They got to get this over with. They just barely do. Tipped out of bounds, almost the steal for Warnicki.
Highland shuffle, buddy.
Steve Larson and Jeff Falkenberg are on the same page now in the coach's playbook.
You've got to have the depth of that guard there that comes in off the bench, gets you some speed. Make him pass the ball badly. There it is.
And there's a strip. Dillier will go to the hole, and he's fouled and counted. Fouled and counted. Oh, my goodness. And Doug McCurley wants the timeout right now before the shot. Unbelievable. We have seen the Highland Bulldogs left for dead twice now in this ball game, and they continue to rise from the ashes. It's 45-39. They trail by 6 with 3:37 remaining on Charter Communications. Man, oh man, Steve, I thought, to be completely honest, I thought they were buried after they got so close in the third quarter and let it slip away.
When you only scored 13 points in the first half, you're down anyway. You come out, you get the momentum back on your side. You're ready to go. Then they went up, 14 again, right? And you just got to hand it to them. The coaching staff has done a good job bringing them back in the ball game, keeping them there. They're back in it, 6 points. Hits his free throw, they're only 5 down.
Unbelievable turn of events. And Joe Hoffman who I personally had shied a little bit for playing so out of control, has 6 points in this fourth quarter, has been dominant on the boards.
Two important points. Wells has 4 fouls. Eric Green has 4 fouls. It's only 3:37 left. We'll see what happens there.
Both of those guys in foul trouble.
Both of them key for their team.
But it probably means a little bit more if Wells goes out for Highland, because that Belleville East team is so deep. This is good.
I agree with that.
Gillier has 8 now. He was only averaging 3.5 a game coming in.
He's putting Hoffman in for Wells, protect him a little bit. So they get back on the offensive end, I bet.
Winnett picks up his first personal foul, and I have a feeling that won't be his last before the night's over with.
I agree with you there. We're shooting to 1-1 now.
Boo, says the Highland crowd. That means Mike Todd will come in to shoot free throws. That means that Tom Wells checks back into the ball game, and Winnett goes to the bench. Lancers schmancers. I like it. Wells, no, don't shoot that three-pointer. Wells leans in. He gets his own rebound, slapped around, and there's going to be a foul, and he'll go to the line. Oh, and Eric Green is fouled out. Eric Green, there you see him, he is gone. To be completely honest, Steve, I didn't see any contact from Green on that play at all.
It was almost like the official ran in there and kicked out somebody.
Well, he gets a big hand from his side, but I sure didn't see that. If anybody that was down there bumping around, I thought it might have been Todd or Helbig that was slapping to get that loose ball. But once again, the penetration of Tom Wells works.
And here's the key fact: if he gets these free throws, these are the first points he's had in the fourth quarter.
Wells right now has been stuck on 12 for a while. Buddy Dye will check back in momentarily for the Lancers. Run in, gets it. I think that's 16 points now for Wells. I think
he had 14 before, that's right.
Todd goes to the bench. Dye checks back in. 47-42, win it. If Wells makes it, will come in. He gets it. If you're going to find one kid that's been in plenty of pressure situations, it's Tom Wells.
Take them too long to get into their offense. They got to move faster than that.
You figure they're trying to get it. Nice pass down low off the glass and in. Warnicki gets his first bucket, and now what happened? We'll get a foul.
Gillier.
Pride. Way outside. Trying to get his man up. Reeder with it. Reeder. Over to Wells. Wells from way downtown. Good! And a timeout called by Highland. Look at Reeder limp on that left ankle. He's in trouble. But Tom Wells, well, that's not a three-pointer, folks. That's about 5 in my ball yard. From about 23 feet, he knocked it down. He used no hesitation on that one. 53-48.
Downtown Carbondale.
We've got to take a short break here from SIU Arena. 5-point advantage for Belleville East. Be back in just a second with the final minute here on Charter Communications. Won't get it that way. Tipped around and it goes off of Wells' hand and out of bounds. And we're going to get a foul called against Tom Wells, and he's done. That's going to be against Wells, I believe, for an over-the-back call. And it is against Wells, and Tom Wells, the senior, is done. His career at Highland High School is over with. But he can be proud. He put it all out in this game, as he really caught fire again in the fourth quarter. He'll leave with unofficially 19 points in this ballgame. Giving the Lancers all they can handle in the fourth quarter. Belleville East proving just a little bit too tough down the stretch, and there is that Highland team. They put up a whale of a fight in this one down the stretch. They will end their season at 25-6. Bears repeating all these Highland players: Tim Marks, Blake Rinderer, Lee Bouquet, Jim Winnick, Brendan Dillier, Matt Jelly, Alex Scholl, Ryan Hazelhorst, Matt Barnett. And your normal five out there: Ryan Warnicki, Nathan Reeder, Jason Fry, Joe Hoffman, and of course, the senior Tom Wells have done a fantastic job all year. A lot of these kids are going to be going on and playing somewhere in college, I'm sure, especially Wells. There you see the fans. Steve shakes his fist at the triad mention. And we got to see one of the best moments I've ever seen in high school basketball. Buddy Prasma coming off the bench and draining that three for Granite City. We want to say thanks a lot to Buddy's grandma, who sent me a thank you card, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. So Buddy Prasma, all the Buddy Prasmas out there. It's been a great season. Stick around. You'll be able to watch the state finals here on Charter this weekend. The Class AA from Peoria at the Civic Center. For Steve Larson. Steve, it's been great working with you this season.
It's really been a pleasure. I wish I could have talked better tonight, Wayne, but it's been a pleasure.
Don't worry about it, and we're looking forward to the baseball season for you, Steve.
You bet.
And for all you out there behind the scenes, Randy Smith and Kathy Ledford and everybody else out there, Gus Kodros and Jeff Budd, who've brought us the action so far this season. And of course, to our producer, director, and everyman, Brian Ledford, thank you very much. It's been a wonderful ride. My name is Wayne Fraser. Highland loses here in the Super Sectional at SIU Carbondale in the arena, 57-50 to the Belleville East Lancers. They finish up 25-6.
Would the captains of the Oakville Rockets please come forward to accept your second place trophy. Would the people up in the crowd who's got the game ball please return it to the scorer's bench? Would the captains of the Highland Bulldogs please come forward and championship trophy. Also at this time, we have one additional trophy before naming the all tournament team. tournament, MVP Tom Wells. Thank everyone on behalf of Monterey High School for making this a very successful tournament. Please guys.
Season come to an end this season at the hands of this same Highland Bulldog basketball team. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rob Blackman, live from Highland, where tonight the Golden Aces and the Highland Bulldogs play for the Class AA Regional Championship. Stay with us. When we come back, John Hart will join me. We'll give you the pregame wrap live from Highland. It's the Aces and the Bulldogs next on the new Mix 100.5. John Hart, as I mentioned, my tag team partner joins me tonight. Coach, if you're a Golden Aces fan, you kind of got a bad taste in your mouth about this Highland basketball team. Last year they put it on us pretty good over in Salem in the sectional semifinals.
Yeah, and that's almost the good news. The bad news is 4 of those 5 starters come back, right, plus a transfer from O'Fallon. So they are a team that's loaded. They're a team with very high expectations, which sometimes can overlook, you know, a lower seed ball club like ourselves.
Highland defeated us last year 75-46. The bad news, Highland returns 73 of those 75 points from last season's victory over the Aces, with the most important of those being the young man, the 6'2 senior Tom Wells. He had 29 on it against us that night a year ago, averaging in double digits again this year for the Bulldogs. I think Coach Haywood put it best when I was talking to him earlier in the week, Coach. He is a man playing among boys. He is the real deal. This guy can play a little. Yeah,
outstanding two-sport athlete, at least 2 sports, because the radio guys were telling us that he's an excellent football player also. A real strong-looking kid. He even wears the cutoff type T-shirt as opposed to a regular T-shirt or a tank top. So he's got the mentality of a man amongst boys also.
6'2", 200 pounds, and he is all of 200 pounds as he's listed in the roster for tonight's ball game. Couple of young men we'll mention the first of all, the transfer from O'Fallon, Jason Fry, 6'5", 175-pound senior, an outstanding athlete, has already signed a full ride baseball scholarship at Southwest Missouri State. Transferred in from O'Fallon, and he really, and folks in Highland feel it was the missing link to a Highland team that really is looking at the sky's the limit. They think they can get to state, especially with the addition of this Fry kid.
Yeah, when you have a 21-5 record and playing in all 2A schools, I mean, we've beefed up our schedule. Their schedule was already beefed up. Right. They play some tough teams. Jerseyville was up at the Charleston tournament and was a pretty good ball club. They usually don't even get out of the regional over here, so we know they are battle tested. And like you said, the transfer of the 6'5 kid is really going to make them a formidable club.
Jason Fry is his name. Joe Hoffman is really the key low post player. He gives Wells a nice combination down in the paint, a nice little tandem down there. Joe Hoffman at 6'4", 180 pounds. Some folks may remember him from last year. He had 10 points against us. Other names to remember, Nathan Reeder, a 6'2 senior guard. He's really, he's their top perimeter player, and last year he really played well against us, did the Reeder kid.
Yeah, he sure did. And what our coaching staff is looking for them to do is try to get us in a switch situation where Casburn's guarding him on a low post. So they're going to try to spread out the court and try to post him up against Casburn, which is an easy 2 points. Look for us not to come out of that too quick and try to avoid the switches, make them shoot from outside.
Reeder had 18 in that win last year against these Golden Aces. Almost called them Harrisburg. Highland, rather, the Bulldogs, the nickname's the same. Highland comes in, as my partner mentioned, at 21-5 on this season and going for a regional championship. Mount Carmel, meanwhile, is going for their first back-to-back regional championships since the Archie D's days of 1953 and 54. It's been a long time ago, 42 years, my friends, since the Aces were able to pull off 2 straight regional championships. But I think really Mount Carmel and Coach Rick Johnston feels a lot better about their chances this year against this Highland Ball Club as opposed to maybe last year. We were just kind of happy to be where we were.
Well, I tell you what, I seen a little film on them also, and film's always deceiving. They either look better or worse than what they actually are. And they're better than Effingham, but not a whole bunch better.
Right.
And we are a lot better. And just like their radio station guy said, they are scared to death of a one Craig Snow.
Yeah, talking to their guys and some of their fans over here, the talk of the town in Highland is what are you going to do against Craig Snow? The one game that they've scouted was the Salem game last Thursday, in which Craig had 50 points. So that's the game that the Highland scouts have seen. And I guess from what we understand, the coaching staff came back, and the word all over town is, hey, this Snow kid, 50 points, he's unstoppable. How do we stop him? So granted, they got to see him on his best night of the year, but in the same breath, Highland maybe coming over here and maybe thought they were maybe overlooking us, but I don't think so. I think they really have a great respect for our ball club.
Well, I think they have great respect for Craig Snow, which really, if we're going to win this ball game now, you would have to think that Chris Taylor, Justin Lovelace, and Ryan Haywood are really going to have to pick up the points that Craig Snow, that they take away from Craig Snow. Craig's still going to get 20 to 28 points, and I don't care what they do to us, but those other guys have to pick up their scoring to give us a chance to win this ball game.
The championship of 1996. Both the Bulldogs and Aces are defending regional champions. Elsewhere tonight in the Class AA Salem Sectional Complex games, Centray, the #1 seed, hosting St. Jacob Triad. Carbondale is at Paris tonight, or hosting Paris, I should say, 4 and 5 seeds meeting there. And Mascoutah is hosting the Mountain Vernon Rams tonight. Hey, congratulations to Jake Newkirk. He advanced on tonight in the Country Company's three-point showdown by hitting 7 3-pointers. He'll now advance on to Salem next week to shoot 3-pointers to try to advance on to state final competition. He'll be joined by Effingham's Jared Powles and Scott McDevitt, and senior, if you will, 6 feet tall, a senior who wears number 24, averaging 9.7 points per ball game. And Craig Snow, number 32, 6'7", just a junior, averaging 27 points and 10 rebounds per game. He starts tonight for the Maroon and Gold Haswell. Rick Johnson, of course, the head coach of the Aces in his second season, 34 and 22, his record as a head coach of the Mount Carmel basketball program. We sure would like to notch in number 35 here tonight. Against what is a very nice crowd, near capacity crowd. It's not full, but Highland with an extremely nice home crowd on hand here, and we brought some pretty good folks as well, more than I actually thought we would.
Yeah, I'd say about 200 people came over and made the long trip.
So we've got our share of maroon and gold in the stands, which is good news for tonight. Here's your starters. For the Bulldogs, Ryan Warnicki, 6'2" senior, 180 pounds. He wears number 24. At the other guard, Nathan Reeder, number 30, 6'2" senior. We spoke of him in the outset, 175 pounds. Again, he wears number 30. Tom Wells, the best player on this Bulldog ball club, 6'2", 200 pounds, a senior. He wears 54. He'll be joined alongside Jason Fry, the transfer from O'Fallon, 6'5", 175-pound senior. He wears 34. And 50, Joe Hoffman, 6'4", 180-pound senior. Tell you about Jason Fry, some controversy about him transferring in this year. His father is actually a Highland graduate, and his dad wanted him to play his senior season at Highland, so they actually made the move to the Highland School District to see that Jason could play at Highland his senior year, and that's exactly what has happened. Originally in the O'Fallon School District, now a member of the Highland Bulldogs.
It wouldn't have anything to do with them bringing back 4 starters off a regional championship team either, would it?
And a team that made it to the sectional finals, I don't know. He certainly fits well in the mix. That's for sure.
We got to say something about their cheerleaders. They've won state like 4 times in a row.
They are awful good. They just did a nice cheer here for the home fans. They are awful good. They got a real good cheerleading group. Hey, time for the national anthem. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have the tip-off next from Highland. Stay with us. Mississippi Valley Conference do these Bulldogs. Conference champs this year. Short jumper in and out, no good for Warnicki. Snow with a rebound, but then he threw it away. He had Casburn sprinting to the other end at half court, and he threw it over his head out of bounds.
And boy, I tell you what, we got away with one right there because Craig was over the back.
Right,
yeah.
Snow was on the back. We should mention Highland, coached by Mr. Jeff Falkenberg. He's been here a long time, does a fantastic job with these Bulldogs. Very well respected man in the city of Mount Carmel. We've got an interesting story about him and his family here we'll get to sometime tonight. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Yeah, that and what he does before and after
exactly.
games.
He does it all. I mean, this guy is it. Here's a steal. Haywood stole a... Picks up the dribble, finds Snow cutting to the basket, all the way to the hole. Another blocking foul. And that one could have easily been on Snow because he lowered the shoulder, but we'll take it. Fouls on Jason Fry.
Yeah, at the best it would have been a double foul because he was still shuffling, but you're right. Craig dipped his shoulder, and that's usually an offensive foul.
1:31 left on Wells off balance jumper. Count the basket, and he got fouled as well. I think it was Lovelace that fouled him on the shot. He was even off balance, and he still knocked it in there.
Well, I tell you what, have you noticed since Wells got into the scoring column, that's when the scoring spread started right there.
27-20. The Bulldogs, their largest lead of the basketball game, 7 points. Finds a man open on the left block, which is Fry. Jason Fry to the high right wing now on the dribble. Gives it top of the key to Warnicki. Swing it left side. 3 on the way. Good for whom? Reeder. Nathan Reeder, and the Aces need a timeout. It is 31-20. Highland will be back with more Aces basketball right after this 60-second timeout.
They're the best shooting team I've seen.
Woo, man, they can shoot it. Margin 31-20. Haywood with it left wing to Lovelace. Short jumper, in and out, no good from the left baseline, cleared by Fry. And here they go to the other end. Reeder with a lay-in.
Boy, he traveled big time.
They just beat us back, and now we got a technical foul on Rick Johnston. Rick wanted traveling. You're right, he lost his, as he received the pass running to the basket, he lost it. And Rick just came unglued out of his seat, ran clear to the baseline. And he's whistled for a technical foul.
Well, he did. He traveled big time. He bobbled it, and he took his extra step.
So that'll give him a chance at 2 more, and then the basketball. And Fry to do the duties. Fry's free throw good. Now the lead's at 14, 34-20. And he'll have a shot at 1 more. Fry's second one good as well, and they'll have the basketball. But Wells gets the offensive putback as no one boxed him off. And the Aces need another timeout. 39-22. The lead's at 17. Oh, my. Stay with us. We'll be back with more Aces basketball after this 60-second timeout. As one of the Bulldogs slid underneath him, I think it might have been Fry. That's who it was. So that's the second on Craig.
I'm not sure that wasn't a good call.
Looked like he'd got his feet set. And the Aces are going to burn another timeout. We'll keep it here. So that's the 3rd timeout we've used. So we'll only have 1 remaining for the basketball game. 44-25 is the score with 3 minutes, 24 seconds remaining. This reminder,
we had 20, and I don't know, it was close to being 20-20, and
right.
Man, they just took off.
I think you're right. It was 22-20. I think they jumped to 28-20 before we knew it, and then all of a sudden it's 39-22. I do remember that much. It happened real quickly, as we were talking, I think, during one of the breaks. They're like sharks that see blood, and when they get a chance to feed, boy, this Highland team does feed.
That's a 24-5 run, you know, since that point.
3 rebound.
He's got to just shoot the 12-footer. He's wide open on the 12-footer.
Right to Wells. He had it blocked by Snow, and they're going to call another foul.
He looks like he's absolutely clean, and
that's the 3rd foul on Craig. So now Craig Snow in foul trouble. That one certainly did look clean, as did really the last block.
But the one before was even cleaner, and the problem.
Seconds remain, 48-27. Reeder over the timeline. Let's see if Highland will hold it for the final shot of the first half. Coach Falkenberg shouts instructions to his youngsters. Reeder fancy dribble near the timeline, and now instead gives it up to Brendan Dillier. Dillier just dribbling it right on top of the Bulldog in the middle of the floor on his side of the half-court line. Down to 23 seconds left. Left-handed dribble. And kicks it out here to Reeder, who will now burn some time near the Bulldog in the center of the court. 13 seconds, now 12, now 11. Dillier with it, and they're going to have to hurry and get the offense going, and now they will. 9 seconds, now 8. Reeder sets it, dribbles in, between the leg dribble, goes all the way to the hole. Short jumper, good. With 2, with 1, and that is how the quarter will end. We've played 1 half of basketball, and it is all Highland in the second frame. 50-27 our score. We'll be back with a scoring summary after this 2-minute timeout on the new mix, 100-point.
It solidifies that team with 11 points. So they got 3 guys in double figures. Joe Hoffman does have 2, and as does Ryan Warnicki have 4 points.
So the Bulldogs get 5 in the scoring column. We only get 3. The problem is they score 50. We score 27. We're at halftime. It's 50-27, the lead in favor of Highland. Stay with us. We'll be back with the halftime wrap here coming in just a second. Wells had 29 against us last year. He's got 18 already here tonight, and he's going to go to the charity stripe as he was fouled shooting from the baseline.
And he's only 7 for 7, so
yeah, that's all.
It's likely he's going to miss 1 out of the next 3.
We would hope. Wells, there you got her. Knocked her down in there. So they'll have a shot at one more.
We wouldn't want to jinx him or anything.
No,
he doesn't even hit the rim.
Boy, is he good. Yeah, he didn't even hit the rim. I mean, it just tickles the twine, if you will. Yeah, that one kind of barely hit the rim. Still went right down the pipe, though. Goes to Wells from the free throw line. Good. 58-29.
He has 24 points, and we're only 2 minutes into the third quarter.
Ryan Andrews at the scorer's table. He cut the lead to 20, which you may kind of smirk at, but we have really played well in the third quarter. 60-40. And they need a timeout. They've seen enough. Coach Falkenberger says, I'm not going to let this thing get away. 60-40. Mount Carmel's cut the lead. Back with more basketball right after this. In between the circles. Now high left side to Fry. Looks into Hoffman, but can't get it to him. Has to give it instead. Top of the key to Brendan Dillier. He goes all the way, slicing and dicing to the basket. And lays it in. Haywood dribbles over the timeline. Nearly lost control of the dribble, but now finds it. Gives it to Snow. And he lost control as he went to the charity stripe. Wells with a loose ball, throws it clear to the other end to Warnicki, and he lays it in. Check that, that's Reeder, Nathan Reeder. So now the lead back at 25, 66-41. 2 minutes, 15 seconds remaining. Now here's the steal in their front court again. Dillier stole the pass and got an easy lay-in. And now we need a timeout. So just like that, we cut it to 20, and it's right back to 27. 68-41. Stay with us. Back with more Aces basketball right after this 60-second timeout.
Routine for lunch. Taco Tierra knows you are, and that's why Taco has a different lunch special every weekday. Monday, tacos are $1.64. On Tuesday, hard
We've outscored them 13-10.
burritos at 79 cents. Soft tacos just 69 cents.
If we keep that up at 5 o'clock in the morning, we'll have them beat.
Hey, good point.
What?
When those scores had Scott call around, he's got that cell phone.
Yeah, it doesn't work, though. We can't get service out of this building for some reason. We already tried that.
Can we go outside?
No, I don't know. I don't know if we need them that bad. We can't get service, so. It's that fine cellular company we're with. They do have a payphone here. Dillier with it out near the timeline. He dribbles inside the arc and now gives it out to the high right side to the new man in the game, Jim Winnett, 5'9" sophomore who wears number 14. A couple of new guys in the game. Number 20, Matt Jelly, 5'8" junior, Gelly.
Highland will not be a formidable club next year. We would love to play them in the regional championship next year.
Yeah, they're going to lose a lot. Matter of fact, 7 seniors on this club. Here with 6 seconds remaining. They dribbled towards the basket, tried to dump it off by 29 or so this year, but we played him a much better ball game this year than last. Lovelace from the left baseline is going to fire up a three-pointer. In and out, no good. Hoffman clears the rebound to Wells as he dribbles over the timeline. And now it's loose on the floor. Battling for it is Fry, and Lovelace finally picked up by Dillier, who throws
Bulldog.
Oh, yeah, that Bulldog they got painted on the wall. Can you get a shot of that, Tim? The Bulldog on the wall.
With the tongue hanging out.
It doesn't even look intimidating. If our TV viewers getting a look at it, it's not even intimidating. I mean, a Bulldog should be big and tough, but
the Harrisburg Bulldog would just kick the
collar right
off.
Yeah, would really get the best of the Highland Bulldog. Lewis with it left side. Bomberger's going to the other end. Now to who? Riddenauer knocks it in. Or that's Alex Scholl with 3 seconds. Now 2. Now 1. And at the half-court shot is no good for Bomberger. And a marvelous season has come to an end here in Highland. Tonight, the Highland Bulldogs, the Golden Aces, by the final score of 86-57 for the second straight season. The Bulldogs eliminate the Golden Aces with a 29-point defeat. Stay with us when we come back. We'll give you a scoring summary, and we'll see if we can't catch up with Aces coach Rick Johnston next on the new Mix 100.5.
first quarter back because it's on the other side of the third quarter.
Yeah, okay, I understand what you're saying.
So they're playing a close game, so I imagine they're fucking around and taking time out.
Right.
They're not listening real close.
Hey, what spot are we playing?
Right now we're on spot 5.
Spot 5?
So you still have 5 spots to burn.
We're just now on spot 5?
Yeah.
No, that is not right. I've been checking them off.
What spot have you got to?
I thought we were on spot number 10.
I've been checking them off since I go. I don't really got spots.
Okay, well you'll have to add some music then. Remember how to do that? Just click on a blank line and put CD whatever in the time.
Wait, you're on.
All right, back here in Highland, Rob Blackman and John Hart, where tonight the Highland Bulldogs get the best of the Mount Carmel Golden Aces. 86-57 is the final score. Highland, the Class AA regional champions for the second season in a row, and the Bulldogs will now move on to the Salem sectional to be played this coming Wednesday night, or next Wednesday, I guess I should say. Highland will play the winner of the Mascoutah Mount Vernon ball game. Folks, stay with us. When we come back, we'll give you the scoring summary next from Highland. Stay with us.
Okay, things to do today. Drop off the kids, pick up dry cleaning, attend parent-teacher conference, take dog to the vet.
Hey.
Yeah.
How much time are you going to give me to put music in, and where are you going to do it?
How much? What spot are we on right now?
This is 9.
Okay, play 9 and 10 back to back, and then throw it back to me, and then I'll give you a good 5 minutes to put in some music. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
If you can blow as much shit as you can blow.
Okay, I will. I'll do my best.
For Company 4261. That's right. Beer Hiley Lumber Company 10.
You owe it to yourself to shop our tax time sell-off now. Our lot is bulging with new Fords, Lincolns, and Mercurys, Plymouths, Chryslers, and Dodges. We must reduce our tax time inventory, so you'll find special once-a-year savings. The J. Woodham Autoplex used car and truck selection is also outstanding, and everything is now tax time sell-off price, including our like-new factory program cars, 95 Ford Escorts, Mustangs, and Taurus, and 95 Dodge Intrepids and Neons, priced thousands less than new. So even if you had planned to wait, you owe it to yourself to shop now for huge selection and savings during our tax time sell-off. Call our toll-free auto hotline at 800-92-AUTO-5 at the small-town Ford and Chrysler Giants at J. Woodham Autoplex on Route 15 in Mount Carmel.
And win the Class AA Regional Championship. The Golden Aces finished the season at 16-12. My partner, John Hart, has the scoring summary for the Golden Aces tonight, Coach. Weren't able to get a lot of folks in the scoring column, and unfortunately, the Highland Bulldogs weren't either, but their guys that did scored a few more than ours.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for a cold second quarter and a hot second quarter for the Bulldogs, this ball game really becomes a lot closer. They're a better ball club, but it becomes a 10 or 12 point ball game with those to have a chance to maybe have some breaks. Unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. Craig Snow led us with 31 points. Justin Lovelace added 15. Behind him, we had 3 other scorers. Taylor had 3 points. Haywood had 5. And we had a couple other scores here too. Jake Lewis had 2, and David Grimes, the 2 sophomores, he also had 1 point. For the Bulldogs, they were led by the outstanding play of Tom Wells. He had 28 points. He was 11-11 for the free throw line. This game, they played a lot the same way we did against Effingham. They shot a lot of free throws, and we didn't shoot very many, and they were very aggressive. Also, Nathan Reeder had an excellent game at 23. They also had a double figures out of Jason Fry with 13. Warnke had 6 points. Hoffman had 6 points. Scholl had 2. Marks had 2. And Dillier, the defensive star, had 6 points.
Again, your final, Highland 86, Mount Carmel 57, as the Aces end the 95-96 campaign with a 16-12 overall record. A fine season. The Aces finishing 3rd in the North Egypt Conference this year. Had big wins. We could just go through the whole season with exciting moments, but maybe some of the highlights this year definitely would be the 2 big wins over the Fairfield Mules, the 50-point performance of Craig Snow and a win over Salem. Our performance in the Charleston Holiday Tournament, which to me, Coach, I think maybe some folks thought that Charleston Holiday Tournament was going to pay immediate dividends, and all of a sudden we're playing for super sectionals and Salem and sectional championships. I don't think we're going to see the dividends from that Charleston tournament until maybe a year from now. We really got a lot, and we got better after that, don't get me wrong, but we're taking the right steps to really be a competitive basketball program. We're competitive right now, but we're taking all the right steps, Rick Johnson is, to put ourselves in a position where all of a sudden we're a Highland and someone else has to play the role of a Mount Carmel on a night like this.
Yeah, because from the 8th grade on up, we're pretty solid, and that's a great point. If we don't get in the Charleston Holiday Tournament, if we don't do a lot of things, we are anywhere from a good and a very good Class A basketball team, but we're not a Class A basketball team. We're not going to change that, so we have to change our mode of thinking, go after the AA stuff. I respect the way Rick has done that, because you can pad your record. I mean, you can look great winning 22, 23 ball games and just get smoked in the regional. He didn't. He chose not to go that path. He went for the AA schools. He went for the AA competition. It hurt his record. We ended up 16-12. We would have easily won 20 ball games if we'd have played some of the small, and I won't say the schools, but we had played consistently the Class A schools just within the county borders of us. And if we'd have done that, our record's a lot better. Now, like you said, we wanted, and I said it more than anybody else, I wanted that dividends to pay right away. Boy, win that Charleston tournament, we'll win 10 in a row. Right. That doesn't happen that way, and we should know better, and it is going to pay in the long haul.
Yeah, I think you and myself and a lot of the Aces fans thought that it's magical if you play in that Charleston tournament. All of a sudden, you're a 20-win ball club, and it doesn't happen that way. It's a long-term thing, and it's interesting. We've already started, as the Mount Carmel basketball program, the AAU teams for this spring have already started practice. The 14 and 13-year-old teams are already in the midst of preseason practice. If you can imagine, we're talking about preseason basketball in March. The AAU junior high teams have already begun their preseason practice. They will play year-round, as will our youngsters. They'll hit the team camps, and the Lovelaces and the Snows and the Haywoods will go to individual camps as well. Hey, the future looks bright. It's what's the saying? It's so bright you have to wear shades, I believe they might say. But the future of Aces basketball looks pretty bright, my friends. Folks, stay with us. We've got a few more words to before we wrap it up from Highland. Tonight, again, your final, the Highland Bulldogs 86, the Golden Aces 57. We'll be back to talk more basketball live from Highland after this timeout on the New Mix 100.5 WSJD Princeton, Mount Carmel.
sectional. Highland will sell tickets Sunday at 2 o'clock in the high school common. Correction, that's 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock in the high school common. Ladies and gentlemen, may we have your attention for the presentation of the trophy? Your attention, please, for the presentation of the trophy. To present the trophy is Salem Community High School's Athletic Director, Scott Stewart.
Coach Mason, Triad Knights, Triad fans, you guys did a fantastic job here tonight. We're proud to have you. Bulldogs. 1996 Salem sectional champions. Congratulations. Bring home the state champion to Southern Illinois. Let's hear it. Congratulations, Highland Bulldogs.
Scoring for tonight's game is as follows. For the Highland Bulldogs, Tim Marks 2, Brendan Diller 7, Ryan Warnicki 5, Nathan Reeder 19, Jason Fry 9, Joel Hoffman 4, and Tom Wells 21. For the Triad Knights, Jeremy Rainwater 3, Ryan Patterson 15, Jeff Johnson 2, Josh Siglana